Okay, guys, let's dial back to reality real quick. This is where I thought I would start the video. What you see on screen here is reality. This is not Twitter beef. This is not YouTube drama. This is how the real world works. DSK is how people abbreviate his name. Dominique Strauss-Kahn had sex with a hotel cleaning staff employee. That much he admits to, that they did have sex. She alleges it was rape. Guess what? Those charges were dropped. Not even because she lied about the rape. She lied about some completely unrelated things. She lied on her tax paperwork. She claimed, see that's down at the bottom here, bottom of the screen. She lied saying she had a second child in order to, I guess, pay lower taxes. I don't know. I assume there's some kind of bonus from the government or something. So she lied on her taxes. And this is the real world we live in. If you lie to the government, if you lie to the authorities about anything, it discredits you about everything. There were a lot of lies and internal inconsistencies within Norvegan's video and within the paperwork they submitted to various authorities. Their stories keep changing. And guess what? That means you have no case. That means you've discredited yourself, even if it's totally unrelated. And look, if this woman were telling the truth, of course you'd have to regard this as a tragedy. You'd say, guess what? We live on a planet called planet Earth, where if you lie to the government about your taxes, you can be raped with impunity. And the rapist will get away with it because your word isn't worth shit under oath in a court of law. Parents should teach their children this. I'm a Canadian citizen. When I arrived at the border in Canada last time, I was interrogated for more than an hour. And they were as vicious and intimidating as they could be, which by my standards is maybe a 6 out of 10. They really didn't know who they were trying to tough talk to. It's like, I've been interrogated by worse than you, homie. It was very denigrating. It was very insulting. It's a topic for another video. Guess what? I didn't lie. At one point, one of the people interrogating me, she wasn't in the front. She was kind of standing. They're like, again, you think it's hard facing down 5 cops in Thailand. There were like 5 or 6 people involved in this. All the border guards. One of them showed it, like honestly enough, with exasperation. She showed it at me. She said, "Why didn't you just lie? You could tell us you work for the circus. It wouldn't matter. Why don't you just tell us something reassuring?" So that part's exact. I'm not sure if she actually said, "Why don't you just lie?" But she definitely used the exact word. She said, "You could tell us you work for the circus. It wouldn't matter." She's encouraging me to lie. She said, "Just say something reassuring." And I'm saying like, no, I ain't gonna lie. I'm telling you the truth. You know what I mean? You interrogate me all you want. You know, you can't take my code of honor, my sense of dignity. I ain't lying. Okay? Even though it would be more convenient for you, more convenient for me, I'm going to sit here and be interrogated. I'm going to do what I have to do because of my sense of personal integrity. And guess what? The record here on YouTube shows. Norvegan lies. Durian Rider lies. Vegan Ava lies. Little Cheetah lies. He's changed his name again. All these people lied about me, and every single time, I mean, I don't get a lot of apologies from people in the audience. The dust settles a couple months later, and it's really obvious to everyone who was lying and who was telling the truth. And you know what? There's an alternative to lying, and that really came up in that interrogation. One of the alternatives to lying is to say, "I'm sorry, I refuse to answer your question." You can say, "I exercise my right to remain silent." That is an option, whether you're dealing with the cops or you're dealing with YouTube. You can say, "Look, guys, I got to draw a line here. There's some things in my personal life I'm not going to talk about." That's also cool. That's not lying. Everyone involved here has the option to do that. Okay? So, DSK, there are 2 lies here mentioned in this brief summary on screen. And the other one here I draw your attention to is that her account does not really coherently explain what happened after the crime, after the alleged rape. So, sorry, I guess I just ran out of space on screen. I don't have that much. Anyway, you can look it up, New York Times, New York Post, etc. So one of the other problems was the sequence of events, some of which are on security camera, because it's a fancy hotel. There are a lot of security cameras around. Where was she and what did she do after the rape? And she did lie about that, and that was proven. Now, again, you can say, oh, well, that doesn't prove anything about what happened during the rape. Right, but it discredits you, okay? So this is the real world. This is not Twitter. This is not YouTube. This is how the authorities operate. What have we got here on screen? I can show you all these documents in full. November 12th, 2015. Everybody's cool with everybody. Look at that. Hannah has interacted with Durian Ryder in a friendly way, face-to-face, in person, in the real world, repeatedly since the night when they had sex. She has interacted with and spoken to Freely, his ex-girlfriend, via Skype, via email. That's all documented. We know about that. They're cool. And now so much time has passed since the brief fling Hannah and Durian Ryder had. She's writing to him, saying in this friendly way she's going to put more cleavage in her thumbnails and videos. And again, guys, I knew Hannah before Norvegan did, okay? This is who she really was. She says, I want YouTube success. She wants YouTube success, and what she was doing was basically cloning Freely and Durian Ryder's business model. She was trying to sell ebooks, and she was trying to have sexy videos. The whole story is really on screen here. The whole true story, as of November 12, 2015, is on screen here in one little email, okay? She did have sex with Durian Ryder. Whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, she and him had patched it up and moved on and were friendly. She and Freely had talked to each other and patched it up and moved on. And Durian Ryder and Freely had patched it up, got back together, and moved on, right? The first mention of anything like rape in the legal documents I can find is August 10th, 2016. I'll show you the whole document here. But this is real vague and real brief. And before this, the problem is all the documents, it's not just that there's no mention of rape. She's insisting in the legal documents, in the documents sent to the authorities. Sorry, I shouldn't just say legal documents. Some of these are emails sent to the police, emails sent to the embassy. They're communications with the authorities. She's saying the same thing to them that she said to me, which I assume is the truth. She said, Durian Ryder is complaining that I've accused him of rape, and in reality, I never made that accusation. It would be a slight exaggeration to say that this evidence has been presented to you, the audience. Norvegan delayed for as long as possible sharing this with the audience, and then when he did share it, it pops up on screen for just a split second. And most of the people concerned, including complete imbeciles like Richard, you know him as Vegan Gains, the vast majority of people were just swept up with emotion. They were just so overwhelmed by that spooky music that he's playing in the background and the little clips of YouTubers who are like not even psychiatric experts talking about how their ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend was a narcissist. He puts this together in such a way and then, oh yeah, and guys, here's the evidence. Click, click, click. Done. In half a second, this goes past on screen. And guys, it takes a second. It takes a second to stop, look at the timestamp, and think about what's going on here. In their original call for donations to support their court case, and at that time, both publicly and privately, Hannah Chloe's only claim was of defamation. Okay, defamation and basically the emotional impact of Durian Ryder cyberbullying her, saying mean things about her on the internet. August of 2016, and even worse, this is August 24th of 2016. Just a few days earlier, she was writing to the same person. She was writing to the same New Zealand embassy, August 10th, and that we have just that one little sentence fragment suggesting that there was something like sexual assault. Here we go, August 24th, later. And it seems like she has amnesia. And guys, it's not really me saying this. You have to imagine that ultimately the point here is not to grandstand on Twitter or grandstand on YouTube. The point is, she would have to sit up and testify in a court of law and be cross-examined by a lawyer who would be much nastier than I am and would say, look, do you have amnesia? Why are there these inconsistencies in these documents when I compare one to the other from a few weeks ago? And guys, this case would never make it to a court of law, partly because of these inconsistencies. There's so much wrong with this case, you would never have your day in court. And if you did, you would have no case. Norvegan, maybe that's what your lawyers told you, and you're being dishonest with your audience, and maybe your lawyers were dishonest with you. I doubt it, because, dude, you've been dishonest about everything, top to bottom, front to back. Look real close at the text here on screen that's underlined in red. Her main point at this juncture is that she's offended that Durian Ryder would dare to say that she called him a rapist. How can you possibly stand up in court and say that you had a defamation complaint because you were offended that your rapist said that you called him a rapist, and now you are calling him a rapist? Just take a minute. The basis of her complaint is, first underline, he claims that I have called him a rapist. Okay? She also says that she's offended that he says that they had adult consensual sex. But there's no statement here. Look further down on the page. From 131 to 2 minutes, he continues to say that I have accused him of raping me. And he uses that to ask the public if my subsequent behavior is what someone who had been raped would do. Okay, but you're not making a case here. This completely undermines your claim that you actually were raped, and the lawyer would have to ask you, well, what, did you suddenly have amnesia? Why is your story changing between the 10th and the 24th when you go to Thailand versus New Zealand versus Australia? Indeed, even the contrast between what she said to me, what she said to Freely, what she said on YouTube, there are so many contradictions. And guys, real quick, here's another where she's saying exactly the same things that she said at the start of the case. She's gone back to the same story she used way back when she started the fundraiser, but this is January of 2017. And inexplicably, she has even more amnesia than before. She just says that she has videos and screenshots of hate speech, blackmail, and death threats. Well, why did rape or sexual assault disappear here, Hannah? Guys, this would never stand up in court. Simply put, you have no case. Can you imagine a lawyer in the courtroom putting up an email like this on screen, saying, okay, this is your follow-up email after your meeting with members of the New Zealand embassy to Thailand. I don't know if that was by Skype or what. I don't know what kind of meeting this was. Okay, gee, you seem to have amnesia. This is August 2016. You seem to have forgotten that you were sexually assaulted or raped. The whole emphasis of this email is about you clearing your name that you never insinuated that he had raped. What is the basis of the defamation charge? He said he had sex with you. You're not denying that you had consensual sex. You are denying that he raped you. We have legal documents, and the lawyer just has to stand there and say, well, were you lying before or were you lying after? Because no matter which story you're trying to present to the court now, you were lying both before and after. Okay, the level of inconsistency, mendacity, homie, you have no case. This is my YouTube channel. So in closing, let's bring it back to me. Norvegan lies and misrepresents and stretches the truth at every stage. When he sits down and talks to my ex-father-in-law, Pete, Grandpa Pete, Grandpa Pete says repeatedly that he has known me for 9 years. Norvegan never challenges this by asking, oh, when was the last time you talked to him? Do you know what the answer would be? 9 years ago. So Pete says, I've known Eisel for 9 years, and I've never seen him speaking Chinese. Norvegan, you have my resume. You can also just Google me, look at my email, look at my blog, look at my Twitter. Just look at my Facebook group for people, vegans learning Chinese. There's a lot of evidence about my studying Chinese, the precise timeline of when it stopped and started. So this is somebody who met me in person once, 9 years ago. And I started learning Chinese several years after that unique meeting. Okay? How could he have possibly seen me speaking Chinese? How would he have any sense of how well or how poorly I speak Chinese? When I started studying Chinese, at the time I broke up with my ex-wife, to simplify a little bit. We split up. I was in Taiwan. I started planning to move back to Victoria. Those are my very first baby steps in learning Chinese, and the very first videos you'll see on this YouTube channel related to learning Chinese. So, like, what am I supposed to say in response to this? Is this a lie? Like, it's just surreal. The misrepresentation of who Pete is and how he knows me and what he knows about my divorce or my career. And Norvegan is sitting there with a copy of my resume, knowing my whole work history. He's like, oh, I just have no idea how this guy earned a living. I have no idea. What university degree do you think he has? You know. You're lying and misrepresenting at every stage. You have no sense of honor, integrity, decency. Neither when it comes to me and my relationship with my 5-year-old daughter. You will sink that low and slander me. When it comes to my custody case, my court case with my ex-wife, my divorce, you have no sense of dignity and honor. And so would it be any surprise if you would sink so low as to lying on the record in a rape case? Homie, you've hung yourself by your own rope. It wouldn't be hard for anyone to prove in court, even just by using the emails and verbal statements you have in your own video, that you have lied. In your own words, Hannah Chloe never even thought she had been raped until you convinced her that she had been raped. I'm going to play the clip right now. Hannah Chloe, whose idea was it for her to make that video? It was your idea. You forced her to do it. According to who? According to you.
I don't think she fully knew that she had been raped. But when I kind of just repeated it, she kind of realized it there, I think. I knew about this long before Hannah made her video. In fact, I was the one who pressured her to make her video. I tried to, like, pressure her to tell me what was going on. She kind of just made me promise to not make a big deal out of it. But